The year was 2020. I know it was so long ago. So much was going on, and it was like I wanted to be out in it. I wanted to go to the protest. I wanted to just stand with my sign, Black Lives Matter. I wanted to be everywhere, and yet there was still a thing of a pandemic going on. And as a survivor of the pandemic, I just couldn't go out there, and I was faced with, what do I say? I was getting phone calls left and right, and what do I say? Wanted to go out and be in the streets, but I just couldn't get there. And so I started using my social media platforms. So three friends of mine sent me something. They sent me a beautiful reading. They said, Sarah, can you read this? What you thinking? I'm like, okay, I got you. So I'm reading it and I'm like, wow. Oh, wow. And it's touching my soul. It is so beautifully written. It's very articulate. It's very clear. It's very moving. It's very inspiring. And then even as I'm reading it, I'm dabbing my eyes and tears are coming out because I'm like, this is what needs to be said. This is what people need to hear. So I'm reading as I get down to the bottom, I see it's signed off as anonymous. Every professional being left my body. I was like, what the? You fill in the blank there. But I was like, what do you mean anonymous? And I was livid. I was angry. I was like, I can't believe it. You had those moments when you're talking to yourself because you're so angry. Like, how do you sign off anonymous? And so I said, Sarah, gather yourself, bring yourself together, and compose your thoughts. But let me tell you, it was hard because I was so angry. So when I called, I said, hi, my friend. And the friend responded, how was it? It was great until I got to the end where you wrote anonymous. And the friend said, what do you mean? And I said, why are you anonymous? And the friend said, because Sarah, as a white individual, I didn't want to take up spaces that really I felt like I probably shouldn't be. And I said, no, as a white individual, you take up space where only your white friends will hear you because they won't hear me when they see me. You are the one that they will listen to. You're the one that can go to spaces, be at tables, be in rooms where I will never be invited, but you can share the messaging of diversity and inclusion and how to not be so ugly. You're the one. So when you say anonymous to me, that makes me think like, yeah, I'll stand with you as long as I can hide because I don't want my other white friends to see what I'm saying because they made this on me. When you say anonymous, that makes me feel like you're not really down. So I needed them to come from around the anonymous and put their name there to truly stand. I found my voice. I found what to say. But I will tell you, it was a path. It was a walk. It was a conversation. It was confidence. It was having to get myself together because if I went with all the anger, they wouldn't have heard anything but anger. So I went and centered myself and I found myself in a space where I can go, okay. And oftentimes our intent doesn't match our impact. Their intentions was great. The impact, they almost lost. My intent was to educate, but had I gone with anger, the impact may have been lost. I wonder how many times we've had great intentions in our conversations of what to say, but because we don't know how to say it or we don't have the confidence, we lose the most important part. Let's talk about that. Let's talk more about intent versus impact. Let's talk more about creating safe opportunities and safe platforms to even engage in a true transparent conversation. The thing with those folks, the things with my friends, we were able to be transparent with one another. In that conversation, I was able to cry, to share. I wish I could tell you it was one of those conversations that was like, oh, I feel so great. I didn't. I was so angry still, but I was able in a calm way to explain that. And it was full of a lot of hurt and tears, but it was full of a lot of movement. I know you want to make movement where you are. You want to make an impact where you are. You want inclusion to happen where you are. You want people to understand what diversity really looks like where you are. Let's talk about that. I don't want you to be in the same space where you don't know what to say. I want you to know what to say when it's the right time. I want you to be empowered with that information, inspired with that information, but more importantly, educated with that information. So let's talk about creating safe spaces. Let's talk about creating great impact with your intentions. Let's talk about learning what to say.